my name is Anders Backerom and welcome to Ericsson Studio. So this is the place where we bring all the customers and people visiting Ericsson Studio, and now you're here as well. And the people that we bring here, it could be everything from customers visiting Ericsson, it can be C-level, but it can also be students, it can be internal Ericsson employees or regulators. So we have everything here, and what we want to show is how the world is changing and how we're changing with the world. So one of the things that we want to, of course, talk about is the future, and how the future can bring us new devices coming into our networks and how we can use them. And one of the networks that we're talking most about right now is 5G, because this is the development going on that is under development right now. And I'm right now standing next to a 5G phone, and if you look here, this is it. It's very small. Actually, it's much smaller than the one that we have for 4G. And the reason why we have a 5G phone here is, of course, we want to test things with 5G and how we can use it, and what other device that will start using the 5G. Because when we talk about networks, until 4G, they have been developed for people. Now with 5G, this is also developed for machines. So in the development phase of 5G, now we have people sitting there and say, okay, I would like to connect my car with a lot of bandwidth, but at the same time extremely low latency, so I can make an automatic driving. Next to that one, we can have a person sitting there that they want to have a device that they just throw out on the airplane that will just tell that it's alive once per month, but it will remain 10 years on battery lives. So how do we make a network for these? Well, the first thing we have to see is that we probably need to have a lot of bandwidth, and we also need to have very low latency. When it comes to bandwidth, if we look at the phone that we have here, this is, as I said, this is a phone. Behind me we have some antennas, we have 2 of them, and this phone is right now using a very high spectrum, and therefore we can get up there, we have a lot of free bandwidth. So therefore with this one we can get around 5,000 megabits per second in this cell that this phone and other 5G phones can share. So that's what we're seeing here. If you look on the GUI on my right side, we can also see that we're running a video on this one, and that's just so we can see that we have some content running as well. And we can also see that this has 2 different types of radio. We have 5G and we have 4G. Right now it's not using the 4G, but what we're going to do a little bit later is to force it to make a handover to 4G. So as I said, 5G is something that we have developed for not only people, it can also be other industries, and that's also why we're talking so much to other industries. And for example, car industry is something, so Volvo that I have here could be a very useful example of something that we would like to connect. This Volvo is indeed connected. It has around 500 APIs that can fetch, that can analyze, and that we can do things with. I will come back to that a little bit later. So, 5G. This phone, I could take it with me, go 200 meters in that direction, and then I will force it to make a handover, just to show that it will work with 4G, because the cells will be very small when we have 5G. But instead of doing that, I would run a script, and that we can see now that it will start going down, and then we'll force it to go to 4G. So you see the speed is going down, you can see the video is running all the time, and when we're approaching somewhere around 100 megabits on 5G, it will then jump over to 4G. So that is something that will happen somewhere. Let's see the green dot when it moves. And there we had a handover, and as you can see in the video, nothing happened. So 5G and 4G will work together in the future, and that's very important. And some of the things that we have seen from our research is also that perhaps we can, if we take the heaviest user out of 4G and put it into 5G, we can also penetrate building further with 4G. And that's also very essential to reach devices that are in buildings like that. So with that, thank you for visiting us in Kista Studio, and we'll be meeting each other later as well. So back to you.